Hey and welcome to this video tutorial. Today I'm gonna show you how to play Bob Marley's Redemption song. This is a very simple song that even beginners can learn quite quickly. In the intro, you'll actually be playing a little bit of lead guitar. Apart from that, there's really nothing difficult in it, just a few basic chords and a very easy strumming rhythm. And as always, I've also prepared a lead sheet for you, which you can download using the link in the video description or the first pinned comment below. So let's jump right in. Alright, first let's take a look at the intro. If you look at the tablature here, you can see that I've also added the downstroke and upstroke symbols below, so that you can play the intro with a consistent alternate picking pattern and don't get mixed up. We'll start here on the 3rd fret with a downstroke. Then we'll play the notes A and B on the A string with an upstroke and a downstroke. Next, another upstroke on the note G. And now we come to two phrasing techniques. First, a slide, and it shouldn't sound like two separate notes, but rather if it were one smooth note. The next hammer on into the 2nd fret on the D string should also sound like a single connected note. After that, play the open D string with a downstroke, and then hit the note on the 2nd fret of the A string with an upstroke. When you're learning something like this, don't try to play the whole thing at once, even if you've already memorized it. Instead, practice just 1 or 2 bars at a time. That means spend a little time focusing only on the first 2 bars until you can really play them smoothly and confidently. That way, you'll also be completely sure about your alternate picking and those phrasing techniques like slides and hammer-ons later on. After that, we continue like this. And at the end of this bar, there's one more downstroke on the A string, and the 4th and last bar of the first section is actually the hardest one for beginners. You'll need to play a slide from the 2nd to the 3rd fret with an upstroke, and right after that, a pull off. As you can see, it's only one upstroke, but you'll actually get 3 notes sounding. For anyone who hasn't done pull-offs before, don't just lift your finger off the string. That'll sound too quiet. Instead, you need to kind of pluck the string downward slightly with your fretting finger, almost like you're plucking with your right hand fingers. And at the same time, make sure your index finger doesn't move or pull because it needs to stay still while you're doing the pull-off. Practice that for a while until you feel really comfortable with it. Then just play the A and G notes here. Let's run through the last 2 bars together. And now let's play through the first 4 bars completely. The next 4 bars look almost exactly the same as the first 4, except for one small difference. In the 3rd bar, you don't play the open A string at the end anymore. Instead, in the 4th bar, you go straight into that slide and pull off figure with a downstroke. Here's the 2nd round for you. That is exactly why I wrote down all the picking directions. If you really stick to them, always playing the down and up strokes exactly as shown, you'll become very confident with these few notes. And in the future, when you play other melodies or single note lines, you'll already be well prepared to keep a steady alternate picking technique. Now, I'll first show you the rhythm and the first few chords of the verses. After that, I'll just play through the rest of the song and stop only at the tricky parts. That way, it shouldn't be a problem for you to follow along. Here's the rhythm. you look closely at the tablature, you'll see that I don't always strum all 6 strings at once. I slightly separate the bass string from the higher strings so that it sounds a bit smoother and not just like random strumming. If you'd like to learn more about that, I've linked the first part of a 3-part tutorial on rhythm guitar up here. If you watch all 3 parts, you'll be super well prepared for songs like this one. You'll also be able to come up with your own rhythms and know exactly when to play downstrokes and when to play upstrokes. Now let's count this rhythm out together. We're playing an 8th note rhythm, and you just have to remember on every 1, 2, 3, and 4 you play downstrokes, and on the ands in between, the offbeats, you play upstrokes. So it goes like this. Now I'll play the entire first verse, the chorus, and then the second verse up to the interlude, and then we'll take another close look at the chords and the rhythm. That brings us to the next section. We'll play an E5 power chord, and all those X marks you see in the tab indicate percussive strums. It's very simple, you just mute the strings slightly and play like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and C, D, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and Then we move on into the final verse. I'll now play this and the last chorus plus the outro for you once more. Aside from this A minor 6 chord, near the end, there's nothing new here. Let me show you the outro slowly one more time. Alright, and that's it for this lesson. I hope you have a lot of fun with this song. It really shouldn't be a problem for you once you've practiced it a bit. Feel free to write me a comment below and let me know what other songs you'd like me to cover next. And of course, I always appreciate new subscribers and likes. Also, don't forget to click the little bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. Alright then, see you next time. Bye.